a look at our next guest's work. Over the last 30 years, he has photographed nearly all of this country's most renowned faces. Because of his extraordinary work, he has been a major influence in American beauty.
He is the master of light and uses it to reveal the intimate personality of his subjects. Also, his colleagues call him a legend in his own time. Please welcome Francesco Scavullo.
Yes. Francesco. Oh, nice. Thank you.
Francesco, welcome.
I think I have to get over here.
Yes, sit over there. Scoot by us.
We changed for you, Francesco. We didn't want to frighten you.
Well, you know Francesco. For many, many, many years, has he ever taken your picture? Have you?
No.
Well, I'm going to remedy that for you, ma'am. I'm going to work this out. That's the only time I've got. Trust me, I'll get this photograph for you.
Francesco, you have taken pictures of so many fabulous people, from models to personalities. How did you take that first step from being a fashion photographer to becoming the personality photographer?
Well, I don't think it was just a step. It was a lot of little steps. I started working on 17 magazines where I photographed models. And then I started working for Town and Country, and I began to do celebrities. And I don't know, it just began building from there. I started working for Harper's Bazaar, and then for about a year I worked for Andy Warhol's Interview when it first started, and I did a lot of celebrities for Andy. And
you know, celebrities are a group unto themselves, or maybe not. Maybe they're like everybody else. Do you ever take a photograph, and I know you are an absolute perfectionist, and have the person that you're photographing not like it, and you know, you look at it and you know it's exquisite? What do you do with that? I mean, do you fight with them?
No,
what do you do?
I don't fight with anyone. I remember the first time I photographed Judy Collins, and it was for an album cover that she was doing, and I decided to do a big head of her, and usually I'd seen her album covers were kind of far away in a field of grass or wheat, and she came in and we did the photographs, and then I sent them all to her, and I didn't hear from her for about 3 or 4 days, and then she called up. She said she had to get used to them. She had to look at them a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, it depends.
You won't be surprised to hear that one magazine editor said, Francesco Scavullo could make even a dog look good. What is it? What is the secret to your technique that makes everybody look so much more beautiful and so much more glamorous?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a whole team that I work with. I mean, I think that I have the best hairdressers that I work with, the best makeup artist, the best editor, Sean Burns, and I'm very careful about lighting. I think it's a matter of, you know, how you light people. It's how you relax them. I think the most important thing, you can have everything right, but if someone still is tense, you're not going to get a good picture. So I think it's a whole, many things that go into, you know, taking a good photograph.
That Italian charm. Is that it?
Well, it's something. I don't know. But I mean, the other day I was photographing Paulina, and when she went into the dressing room after the sitting, she said to Sean Burton, she said, I always feel more beautiful in the studio. And maybe if you make people feel good, if you make them feel that they're sensational, they'll look sensational.
You brought some of your sensational looks with you. Some pictures, some photographs. Can you describe them? See what we've got here.
What we got here.
Oh. Sting.
That's Sting.
In a diaper?
He's draped in a towel. It was, I wanted to do a silk screen of Christ, and I asked Sting if he would pose for the photograph, and he said yes. So that's one of the pictures from the session.
Ooh. How about Sophia Loren? The photograph.
Got there.
My favorite.
Oh, that's a marvelous picture of Sophia, because it was after a sitting where I had done a fashion sitting. I think it was for Town and Country or Harper's Bazaar, and I just was talking to her, and I just snapped that picture. She was talking to me.
I love that.
She's a marvelous woman.
She is marvelous.
Fabulous, warm,
one of a
terrific
kind.
woman.
Yeah.
Terrific.
You have favorites, huh?
I don't know. I guess everybody's my favorite who's ever in the studio at that moment. But, you know, when you photograph people that Mick Jagger with his sand and his
What is he
pail
doing
and
now? He has
shovel.
his sand and he's
What's
on
he
a...
wearing?
He's
He's
got
wearing,
shorts on, no?
I think Norma Kamali made him a bathing suit. He's at a Golem.
Oh, yeah.
What was the inspiration behind that picture?
Oh, I don't know. We were just kidding around, I guess.
You recently took a photograph of some modern greats, Pavarotti and Frank Sinatra together. You told me you waited a long time to meet Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, I had never met him before, and I'd never photographed him. It was very funny, but when I was just married years ago, 100 years ago, my ex-wife was telling me that she had this, she always had this watch, and she said, Frank Sinatra gave me that watch. This is what Frank Sinatra gave me. And so I said to her one day, oh, he probably gave 1,000 of those away. So when he came in the studio, I asked him about it, but he just laughed.
He did?
How many watches did he give out? Wait, we have Farrah Fawcett here.
Let's see. Oh, that's great.
What a gorgeous picture.
Yeah,
Your lighting is superb. I mean, look at that.
Yeah,
when you see the pictures, do you ever surprise yourself with
Why
how
not?
they come out?
No, because if I don't like what I'm seeing in the camera, then I know it's not going to look good when I look at the chromes or the prints. So I either keep working or change things around till it looks good. If it looks good in the camera, it's going to look good on film.
Now they're pointing to Gloria Vanderbilt. Oh,
No.
How long ago was that picture taken?
I think that picture was taken probably in the mid-70s.
Oh, that's
probably about
wonderful
10 years ago.
shot.
And that's really her signature portrait in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I loved photographing her. She's quite marvelous.
Now you took a very, I know you've done a lot of Cosmopolitan covers, but you did one interior shot that was, well, a breakthrough photograph.
Interior.
There he
What
is.
Yes.
Oh, that's Burt Reynolds.
What were they saying before the show? What an arm?
That's the centerfold. So
Nancy, that's so unlike you. I'm so thrilled. Look, she loosened right up. Isn't that good? Really?
You've been doing this to me for weeks.
I'm turning Nancy into a tramp.
It isn't that. It's that was it embarrassing? What kind of a photo session was that like for him?
I think he was a little nervous. It was a long, long time ago. It was before, you know, he became a big
It really
star.
put him on top.
And Helen Gurley Brown had decided she wanted to do a male centerfold, and she said, you're going to do Burt Reynolds. And I didn't even know who he was, so she said, well, look at the Johnny Carson show. He's on it a lot. So I looked, and he came in the studio. Very sweet, nice guy, but he was walking around in his robe. I thought he's never going to take this robe off. I was so used to people coming in and taking their clothes off and lying in front of the camera, and I thought, he ain't going to do it, you know. But anyway, he did. He was had fun and amusing.
How'd you make him feel at ease?
I don't know if he ever felt that ease.
Probably didn't, but it
Well,
was
I
a
think
great
it was sort
shot.
of, you know, it was the first time there was a male centerfold in a national magazine.
Do we have time to show Liz Taylor? Yes? Quick? Next segment. There she is. They like you, Gay.
That's actually an inspiration, because this photograph leads us into what we're going to talk about after the break.
Yeah.
And that is
silk screens.
Francesco's silk screens and his career as an artist.
Oh, beautiful.
So we're going to take a
break.
break.
Look forward to that.
And we'll be right back. Elizabeth Taylor, which was what you did to take the photograph a little bit further. You want to talk about that a little bit, how you did that?
Yes, I mean, I take the photographs and then I do photo silk screens, which means I transfer the photograph to a silk screen and then I paint onto a canvas, and they're oil on canvas. And I've been doing that for about 4 years now, and I love doing it, and people are very thrilled with them. Gloria Vanderbilt has one, and Elizabeth Taylor has one, and Brooke Shields has one. And a lot of people come in and I'll photograph them. I can photograph them in black and white because I only need a black and white negative to do a silk screen. And it's just an extension of my work, and I really enjoy it, and the people enjoy it. I think the paintings look marvelous in your living rooms or in apartments.
This is Cher behind me. Look at this.
Now, I've watched you do this, and I've seen you take one person's portrait and turn it into many different colors. And you'll try a different color with each portrait, won't you?
Well, I usually paint. If I'm doing a commission, a silkscreen commission, I'll do about maybe 6 canvases and do them all with different colors, and then I send the whole bunch down in a big truck, and then they can choose which one.
And what do you do with the other 4 or 5?
They go into my archives, and they're used for shows, and they travel and
And the one behind you, Princess Grace.
Oh, that's that was photographed. That was done in July, just a few months before she died. She was in New York for one of those big star programs at Music Hall, and Night of 100 Stars. And she came in and I did a portrait, and then I silk screened it. I love that one. It's one of my favorites.
What is it about that you love so much?
Well, I think it just captures Princess Grace at that moment. You know what I mean? And I think that you know, she aged very beautifully. I don't think that 50 was old, but I mean, it was the difference of when I seen her in the movies, you know, and she was a big movie star, and I think she looked quite wonderful.
You know, years ago, New York Magazine showed a picture of Martha Mitchell that you took.
It was a cover, yeah.
It was a cover, and it looked like a before and after, when in fact you did nothing to her but take her picture. And people can come to you. What do they pay? $20,000?
I don't know. It's expensive.
And they come in, and
you're cute. I love that.
Just a little bit.
It's a little high, but you know, it's worth it. Look at this. Yeah. Well.
And what is it that you do to make somebody who walks in a before look like an after?
Well, it's sort of what you're doing right now in the dressing room. You know, I mean, Martha Mitchell came to the studio. I told her to come without any makeup and freshly washed hair. And we had a hairdresser and a makeup artist there. And we just, you know, did everything properly, applied her makeup properly, gave her a beautiful hairstyle. And she really was a very beautiful woman. She was.
Yes.
That was just that we're used to seeing terrible pictures of her with her mouth open, and she had that terrible beehive hairdo and all. And you know, you can edit the worst pictures or the best of someone, and at that time they wanted to have pictures of her with her mouth open.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you so much for coming by and bringing all of these beautiful, beautiful photographs and silk screens. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, what are we going to do? Are we going to check in on the makeup room?